The dilation.
Every day, America Online is making it easier for people to live, work, and play.
We are
ready for the
rolling.
game? I'm just finishing up here with my new
Yeah,
kayaking friends.
it's live.
We're live.
We're live. We're
Yeah, I
live.
just got America Online.
We're doing the intro right now.
Oh, we talk about it?
Mike Garrison.
Boom. Jeff Crutcher.
It's real.
It's real.
This is really happening right now.
Really happening. It's happening.
You know that this is actually the 5th installment of the OTB Over the Bars podcast.
Didn't know that.
The original title of the show was the OTB Variety Show.
Why variety?
I don't know. I wanted to have a variety of things on the show.
Huh.
Yeah, and in the process, I talked about myself on the first one, and then
That was a short segment.
It was short, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did one with Jordan Hoover while we were driving to the track. And
Safety first.
Safety first, yeah. Well, I had the same exact setup.
Yeah. But you weren't texting and driving. You were just podcasting and
We were
driving. at the same time.
podcasting and driving. That's precisely correct.
Okay.
And then the third one that I did was with Keith Pearson.
Oh, okay.
At the Atlanta Supercross, and we were at, I can't remember if it was the night before the Supercross or the night of the Supercross. It's great radio, I know.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like, I could tell you more about some lame things that I've done.
Oh, that's okay, really. I'm good without it. We can move on.
Okay, fantastic. So you went to St. Louis Supercross?
Yes. St. Louis. It was a good time. Very good time.
10 out of 10.
Yes.
Did you get sweet tickets, or what was the deal? Because it looked like you had a pretty dialed view of the track.
Yes. No, we got some VIP tickets. Got the press box access. Unfortunately, the very first security guard that we ran into did not know what VIP tickets were and or what to do with them. So we were not allowed to pass. So we circled around through the pits. We came back to the same security guard, and he said, "You can't go through here." And I said, "Oh, we're riders." And he said, "Oh, yeah, go right through the tunnel." So I'm dead serious. So we just rolled right through the tunnel.
Literally rolled
right through the tunnel.
What? So did you get comped by Feld, or what was?
No, I've got my secret hookup.
You have a secret hookup.
I have a secret hookup. Yeah.
Who's your secret hookup?
That's why it's a secret. I can't tell you who the secret hookup is.
Will you tell me after we're done?
Maybe.
Will you have to kill me afterwards?
Yes. And then I will have to host this all by myself. And I don't really want to do that, so I'm probably not going to tell you.
This is complicated, this whole setup here. Can you imagine me just being like, "Okay, Mike, go ahead"?
No. I've had a hard enough time trying to figure out this puff pad that you've got shoved in my mouth right now.
The puff pad is essential to ensuring that our fans and listeners, all three of them, do not hear lots of puffs and S's. And so they can't smell your breath.
Ooh, yeah.
So okay, keep going about.
Sorry, St. Louis.
Yeah, so you had a VIP suite.
Well, kind of. We got industry seating, okay, which is super cool.
Fantastic.
But we just kind of wandered around and took people's seats until eventually someone would come along and say, "Hey, these are our seats." And, "Oh, wow, sorry, we didn't realize that we're in the wrong spot." So we just kind of migrated around the whole place. Never stopped. Then we I was trying to figure out where Ralph and Jeff were.
Correct.
Yeah. So those are kind of like my heroes. So I just groupie stalked them big time.
Okay.
And actually the Fox producer, though, was super nice. And she was like, "Hey, are you waiting for Ralph and Jeff?" And I was like, "No, why would you say that?" Just because I've been sitting right outside this little tiny booth. She's like, "Well,
are you talking about in the press box?"
No. Okay. So St. Louis, the stadium where they announce from, they actually have to walk through the stands and to go down in this little booth.
Okay.
They're not with the press people at all. So we located that and just sat there and waited for them.
And you're on a first name basis with those gentlemen.
I don't know about that, but maybe Ralph. Okay. So Ralph, he gets a lot of crap. Like the guy you get on Vital and you get on these different things. He's a super cool dude, though.
Does the average person have any idea how many different forms of sports that man has called for and how many he does at the time?
Well, I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay, go ahead.
He's not limited to sports. Do you know what he started announcing in?
Hit me with it.
Fashion shows. He told me straight to my face. We were sitting there, row E, seat 1. He sat there and he told me straight to my face. He said, I announce fashion shows.
And that was his first gig.
Well, he said that, it helped him because he didn't know anything about it.
Are the fashion shows that we're talking about at hand, are they bring your own beer or are they full nude?
We didn't actually get that far in depth, but I didn't get to spend enough time with him to pinpoint what kind of guy he was in that respect. Yeah.
And then, of course, you saw our local hometown guy, Jethro.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Fro Daddy.
Fro Daddy.
Yeah. We don't know him by Jethro. Who calls him Jethro?
I did.
No, I don't.
Well.
It's Fro. Even the producer lady, she was like, are you waiting on Fro?
Fro Daddy.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have Fro.
Not really Daddy.
Do you remember my butt patch that I had on my Axo gear that said Fro on the back of it? No. True story. I got the hookup on Axo gear from Helmet House in 2002, 2001, 2000. Regardless, whenever I would get my Axo gear, my mom would custom make these leather butt patches that said Fro on it. And the F and the R were very fat. I'm illustrating this for those who can't see us.
With his left hand, but he's a right-handed.
Correct. And so the O, not only was it an O, but then the top of it was like this moon shape that was colored in. And then there were 2 lines and a smiley face. So it looked like an afro in the O. My mother hand sewed every single one of these. And I used to get the hookup on Axo. I had like 6 pairs of gear. Every single set of Axo gear that I had featured this Fro butt patch.
I never noticed that.
I was 13 and had a factory ride.
Because you had a butt patch?
Because I had a butt patch.
Yeah. Because that makes it.
Who else in 125C mod had butt patches? It's a short list, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'd never really looked at anybody's butt in the 125C mod. That wasn't my priority when I was on the line, really.
Did you, what was your, what year did you start riding big bikes?
Oh, dude. Anadarko was the first time. I went from an 80 to a 450.
I have a photo of you wearing the Travis Pastrana helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Number 247 on the 450. I believe. Did you have yellow backgrounds whenever you first
moved up?
Of course I did. And
yeah.
the red, white, and blue, not decal, SoCal gear.
Oh, yeah.
That was your first big bike race?
Oh, yeah.
And you were what, 12 or 13?
Oh, 12 or 13 because we went to, like a month before, we were out at Old Kingsville. And my dad, my bike, my 80, something happened to it. And first of all, I looked like Benny Bloss on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, you look like a goon. So you need to get off this thing. And I rode my dad's 450. And then I just totally skipped the whole 125, 250 phase and just went straight to 450. But then I backtracked after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all my buddies are now riding 125s. So we got 125s, then the 250s came out.
Did you have a Honda or a Suzuki 125?
Well, I had a Suzuki, but the thing was a death trap. I sold it to a guy. Okay, so it was just squirrely.
Yeah.
I crashed every time I got on that thing. So squirrely. So then we sold it, and I want to say the guy's name was Boogie. That's all we knew him by, was Boogie. Not a clue.
And this is pre-Craigslist.
Oh, yeah. Like
Boogie sounds like the ideal Craigslist buyer.
Boogie showed up at our house, bought it, took it to the track that day, broke both arms and his left collarbone.
Did he ever ride again?
I don't know. I didn't follow up on Boogie. I just know Boogie bought my bike.
And then he boogied himself into the ground.
Yeah.
Ba-da-bop. So that was 2001?
Yeah. It had the Mark Barnett bomber graphics
hold on.
on it.
Wait a second. Was I riding a KTM 125 at the same time, that same weekend?
I don't know. The only thing I remember about you when you went from an 80 to a big bike was somebody got the brilliant idea to put you on Stanfield's 520.
400. It was a 400. The first one was a 400.
It was like a 670 or something.
It was a KTM 678 speed.
Yes. And I just remember that for whatever reason, you decided to ride my class, which was like the beginner of the beginner class, and I don't know why you even wrote it, at Grain Valley. We go to the first turn, you took us all out.
I don't remember this.
How do you not remember this? My bike was upside down. Somebody got a picture of it. I had to get off. When I got up off the ground, first of all, you were laying there. You couldn't even pick the bike up.
No. This was 2000. That would have been 2002.
Okay, so I may have some years mixed up. I'm just saying, I have some beef with you about that we've never talked about. I also have beef with you in the...
Still holding on to this, are we?
Yeah, 95, Branson. We were racing for 29th and 30th place, and we went up that uphill, and you go around the outside of me on our KTM 50s.
Yeah, the white ones.
Yeah, and you go around the outside of me, and there's a pine tree on the inside, and you just pushed me into the pine tree.
I pushed you into the pine tree.
Yes.
You didn't fall into the pine tree as I was riding around you.
No. You were trying to pass me on the outside, and you pushed me into the pine tree.
This is hog shit.
No.
I would never do that.
Yes, you did it.
I would do that.
Yes. You've also thrown me off the back of an XR70.
So, true story. Tanner Moore was like my arch nemesis on 50s. And I remember after one moto at Kingsville Saturday night, my dad told me, because Tanner cleaned me out. Or didn't clean me out, but he would always run into me. And I don't, of course, we'll never know if it was intentional or not. And my dad was like, if you don't wreck him or run into him, he's going to keep doing this. My dad wasn't like, you need to get that motherfucker, take him out. Nothing like that. He wasn't Newt Munsterman. But do you remember Matt Munsterman's dad?
No.
Newt?
No.
He was a live wire.
Okay.
That guy, I've never seen somebody throw their hat down and stomp on it. You think of a cartoon character doing something like this. His dad, Matt Munsterman's dad, Newt, would do that shit all the time.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Do you?
You were taking Tanner Moore out.
Oh, thank you. So
you were a 7-year-old kid just assaulting other 7-year-old kids with your dirt bike.
So sure enough, I wrecked him in the whoops, and we both crashed together. But I got up and beat him, and Tanner never ran into me again after that.
So he bumps you in a couple corners, and you just clean his clock right in the whoop section?
How else do you do it?
I don't know. At that age, I didn't even know what a takeout was.
You thought it was Chinese food?
No, I'm not a fan of Chinese food.
Not even Panda?
Ooh, that's not Chinese, but dude, whatever it is really good, actually. Yeah.
Orange chicken?
No.
Pineapple?
No, I like that.
Sweet fire chicken?
No, I like that. Blackened, it's really spicy chicken. I don't know. It's a limited time thing. If they don't have it, I don't go there.
Are you ringing? Don't you dare ring on me.
Just buzzing.
Okay, so back to St. Louis Supercross.
Yes. Circle back around.
Right,
Go back
yes,
to St. Louis.
thank you.
Okay.
Let me just go ahead and dive right into it. Let me get your thoughts on Chad Reed in the heat race.
Okay.
B, Dungey's comments on the podium.
Okay.
And then C, Reed's actions in the main event.
Okay.
Hit me with A.
Okay, so
what is that noise?
I don't really know. Something's disconnecting and connecting somewhere.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What was A?
Reed in the
heat race.
Yeah.
Okay, so where we were sitting at that time, the seat that we had poached from someone, I saw the pass and I didn't see anything wrong with it. It wasn't any different than Tomac passed him, or it wasn't any different than, I didn't really see that Reed did anything wrong. I mean, maybe they may have got a little closer than Ryan had expected, but I didn't see anything wrong with it.
But it wasn't, wasn't it initially Reed passed for the lead?
Yep.
And then Dungey was behind him, and then Muscan, correct?
Yes.
And then Reed leads for the first couple.
Are you talking the heat race?
Heat race.
Okay,
yes, I'm speaking heat
okay,
race.
okay.
So Reed leads for the first couple laps, and then
crowd goes wild. By the
crowd goes wild. Everybody loves it because he actually passed for the lead.
Yes.
Then, it took a couple minutes before they got past him.
Yes.
And I had understood that I guess Dungey made remarks during the opening ceremonies, something about Reed.
Oh.
Did you hear this?
No, I did not.
You weren't watching.
Maybe not. On the mic? Like over the mic?
Yeah, like whenever he was talking on the mic.
Oh, no, I guess I didn't pay attention to that.
Why not?
At that time, probably. Actually, it was. No, that's when our seats got taken. When they were doing their interviews out on the starting line. And the fireworks have been going off. Guys have been ripping wheelies, doing stoppies.
I love a good wheelie.
Yeah, doing some cool stuff. Like, the last thing I care about is watching them line up on the starting line, talk about each other.
Yeah.
We know they all hate each other. They all want to win. Blah, blah,
Right,
blah, blah,
so on
blah.
and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay, so allegedly he said something about to the tune of Reed is a crybaby, and I'm paraphrasing and butchering exactly what it is that he said.
Okay.
But I guess there was a remark made.
Oh.
And then they had their, heat race battle, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
But of course, Ryan and Marvin got past him. Then I actually didn't see the heat race podium speech, or not speech, whatever. Whenever they talked to Jenny for the TV, allegedly or not allegedly, as a matter of fact, Dungy said something to the tune of he needs to get out of the way of me and Marvin. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I didn't. The thing about it was his speech, or whatever you want to call it, podium talk, from in the stadium and on TV, totally different. Like, he did just a very bland, good heat race, blah blah blah, in the stadium. So I didn't even know any of that had really taken place.
Okay,
but I watched it later.
Yeah,
and he said something along the lines of, Reed's got some beef with me or beef with us, and I'm assuming he's talking about, him and Marv.
Yeah.
And but I don't see where that came from, like, unless it escalated from somewhere else, because I didn't see it on the track in the heat race. I saw that Reed came out, made a strong pass, was running good, and was trying to make a point. He gained all of the fans in St. Louis. They were all on their feet, which he later lost.
It's amazing how many people just love Chad Reed out of the fact that he's old.
Yeah, I don't even know that it's anymore. It's not even that he's Chad Reed. It's that this old guy is doing this good and he's still in it.
He's just throwing a wrench in the works.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, what I want to know is, I understand that Dungy had, felt this way.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I understand that Dungy felt this way, but I don't understand, why he would say something to the, of the fact of, I just can't believe that one guy would think that another dude is in the way of a heat race.
Yeah, if that was what he meant by what he was saying, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't care really, to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to throw digs out there or whatever, but if Ronnie Ford made it to the heat race, and Ronnie Ford got the whole shot and was leading, he's leading. Like, it doesn't matter who it is.
Right, okay.
That you're racing for position.
Right.
Now, fast forward to the main, get into a lapper situation, that's totally different.
Okay, now here's kind of the way that I see it. Reed did not okay. He didn't, I think he was being a little trollish, for sure. He didn't go out of his way to block Dungy.
In the main.
In the main.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
He didn't do anything intentional or intentionally absurd. Did he make it easy on Dungy? Absolutely not. And I don't necessarily think that Reed made it easy on Tomac. See, that's the thing, is it wasn't in frame on the TV. I mean, did he?
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
He just let Eli right by.
Yes. I mean, it wasn't like he just pulled over, stopped, hopped off the bike, waved him on, cheered him on, whatever. But I'm saying, like, Tomac got by pretty quick. And the thing about Reed that I don't know that they showed on TV, and you could argue the point that he was trying to find out where Dungy was and when he needed to pull over, but I think it was probably the opposite. He was throwing some hardcore 180 lookbacks over the triples, like, where's Dungy? But I don't feel like it was in a where's Dungy? I want to make sure I get out of his way. I think it was more of like a where's Dungy? Oh, he's going right. I'm going right. I'm going.
Okay.
But
Okay.
But on the flip side of that, there were sections of the track that they came up on that Reed was faster than Dungey.
Yeah.
Not all sections, like Reed screwed him in that rhythm section more than one lap. The triple section.
Okay, yeah.
Because Reed was not doing it.
And he was going left where the triple line was.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. Because no one that was going triple. I mean, you had a few guys here and there, but we're going to that inside because the one guy in practice that was doing it in the lights class, he wadded up right into the tunnel. So you couldn't do it from the inside.
Yeah.
So Reed was going double on the outside.
That's not really right. However,
No, it was left. He was on the left.
However, I don't know. Part of me kind of, I see it from both sides, and I understand both sides. Do I think that what Reed did was punishable? No. Do I think that what he did was right? No, because the right thing to do is just let, the guys that are battling for the lead. Now, I know that whenever Reed first came in between Tomac and Reed, it was like a 2.5 second lead. And then by the time that it was, that Dunge finally got past Chad, it was 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
Yeah, it was quite a bit.
So he lost time. Now, the question is, did Dungey's lap times improve after he passed Reed?
I was curious about that too. I don't know. But at the same time, he was catching Tomac. He was putting in some really strong laps. Catching Tomac, his lap times were faster. But before they got to Reed, it was almost like Tomac got the board or something saying, hey, he's catching you.
Yeah.
So Tomac turned it up.
Okay.
So I don't know what his lap times were after the whole Reed thing, but I think they were close enough that Dungey, being the guy that he is, wanting the championship and knowing that you don't have to win a race to win the championship, I think at that point he was like, okay, second it is. I'm not going to catch him because it took him multiple laps to make up half a second on him.
Whenever someone is lying and they overcompensate for what it is that they're saying and try to embellish and
do you think I'm lying right now?
No, it's not you.
Oh, that's
Dungey's podium speech for second place whenever Jenny was like, what do you think of that? And he said, I'm not going to waste my time on that. And then goes into this rhetoric of, I'm so excited. I'm so happy, to just be out of here. And, I'm very happy with the way that I rode. Do you feel like that was, him just trying to overcompensate for his actual feelings over the situation?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
let me just say this very quickly. I think that there are so many people that dislike Dungey because he's the all-American kid, because he's always squeaky clean, because he's Mr. Professional. And there are so many people that like Reed for the exact opposite reasons, because he speaks his mind. He is arrogant. He knows he's the shit. Now, does he know that he can win? Sure, he thinks that he can. And I think that you've got these two alternate personalities coming together in an odd situation where, he's being lapped. Your thoughts?
watching the actions of both guys after the race. Well, first, Reed just rode off into the tunnel. He
got 13th.
Yeah, he didn't care. But Dungey was not having it. He was super mad.
Very mad.
Yes. But when he came up to the podium, I think the podium speech was probably influenced heavily by his wife and Alden Baker.
Yeah.
Because they were the first ones to him. And just by the hand gestures they were making and his hand gestures he was making, and it was more than
hand gestures, yeah.
Yes. They were telling him, hey, just calm down, chill out.
Yeah.
We understand you're mad, but you gotta chill out. Save some face here. Now, on the flip side, though. Okay, here's the other thing. We were in the pits afterwards. And I don't know if it was coincidence, but everyone at the Yamaha truck was outside except for Chad and what's the team manager? Right.
Yamaha guy.
Yamaha guy and Chad were not out there. They were in the truck.
Yeah.
And I was told that Gosler was sitting there and Webb's mechanic was taking his bike apart like they do, you know, taking the plastic off, handing it off to kids, whatever.
Yeah.
So he looks at Gosler and he says, "Are you going to strip his bike down?" And supposedly Gosler says, no, he could do it himself.
Oh.
So if that was true, like I said, I didn't hear that in my own words. I was told that was what was said.
A little anger from inside the team.
Yes. So I feel like there may have been some repercussions.
Well, perhaps. God, I'm trying to. Keith McCarty, is that the name?
No,
is
not
that,
Keith. That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking, I want to say Tim, but I don't know why Tim. But Tim's a pretty general name.
I like the name Tim.
Yeah, it works for whatever.
Yeah. So Tim and
Tim.
Yeah. I saw that you wrote down Ronnie Ford.
I did write down Ronnie Ford.
Go ahead.
I'm going to have a lot of hate mail from our 3 viewers for this one.
Okay.
Ronnie Ford.
Yes.
He's not as bad as people make him sound.
I think whenever you have guys that are training and racing Supercross every weekend that are there for one reason, and we're talking about world-class Supercross racers, then you have someone like Ronnie come along who is just kind of learn as he goes, again, for the second time around. It really showcases the difference between your local A rider
Yes.
and your Supercross racer.
Yes.
And it's hard to see the difference until, because obviously whenever you have Dungey and then let's say Donald Pulley.
Who?
Yeah. He's a guy from California, number 608, rides Yamaha.
Okay.
Whenever Pulley's on the track, now, okay, let me just go ahead and say, I don't think that guy belongs on a 450. He should be riding a 250. But I also understand the privateer idea of I should ride a 450 every weekend because there's double the amount of events. And if you make it into the night show on a 450, it's like $1,200 in your pocket. So there's a strategy behind it. But if you put both of them on the track at the same time, you're going to see, wow, this shows either A, how good Dungey is, or B, how bad Donald Pulley is. And, nothing against Donald Pulley. He's just the arbitrary name that I pulled out as a random privateer. So whenever you have someone like Ronnie Ford on the track who is not good in the whoops, just putting that out
I'll
there.
give you that one. Okay.
Whenever you have someone like him on the track riding in the same class at the same time as everybody else who is a little bit better than he is, it really exacerbates the difference and makes it that much more noticeable between your guy that's in last place that's getting or pulling 104s versus the next guy up that's doing 101s, 1 flats.
Yes. But here's my thing about Ronnie Ford. He was not the slowest guy there, and he was not the worst one on the track. If you look at lap times, but because he runs the whole series and because he's got so much attention on him.
Yeah.
We had some local guys that were out there, and not necessarily that I know personally,
Yeah.
but are from the region that were out there. They were so much worse than Ronnie Ford. But you go down in the pits, and it was like, oh, dude, good job out there. You're learning. But you go down the pits for Ronnie Ford, I mean, yeah, he's a little squirrely. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But his lap times were better. Not by a lot. But now, should he be in the 450 class on a 252 stroke? Quite a novelty, but I don't think so.
So I think the question, okay, now obviously I have to ask you this. Should they just run the 252 strokes in the lights class or 250 class? Should it just be CC to CC? In your opinion?
I don't think if they switched it, I don't think you're going to see any more people jump on a 2-stroke.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think privateers would?
They would, but they're not going to matter.
I understand what you're saying.
I mean, maybe they. I guess yes, you may see, but those guys are already racing and they're already not making the main, so it doesn't matter what they're riding. They sound cooler not making the main.
Michael, I'm doing some fact checking here.
Okay.
50th qualifier.
Ronnie Ford.
108.
Yeah.
Jason Kuber, second slowest, 105.
Was there nobody behind him?
No, Ronnie was the last qualifier.
Wow. So I was wrong.
And
Well, check the lights class though.
okay,
Check the lights.
the qualifying time was the last qualifying time was Chad Cook, 58.46. So he was 10 seconds off of qualifying time per lap on a 58-second. That's a pretty big difference.
You're making me feel bad. Ronnie,
Don't get me
he's
wrong.
trying hard.
I am
I don't even know the guy.
the biggest fan of anybody that's on.
Okay,
our
but now,
social-
now hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Let's back up. Okay. So Ronnie's out there doing his thing. He's not, people say he's a hazard and he's like, whoa, get him off the track, all this different stuff. Yes, if he was out on the track with Dungey, he might be a hazard, but he's not. He's on the track in the C group of guys, and the same rhythm sections that Ronnie is lawn darting,
Yeah, everybody else is.
they are too. They're just landing it. Now, did Ronnie put in some gnarly crashes that I did not expect? Yes, he launched off the side of the triple one time.
Now here's something to consider.
Okay, is this the lights times?
No, I just looked at those. The slowest lights time was a 105 also.
Really?
Yes.
Are you being serious?
Dead serious?
Ronnie was not faster than anyone.
Nope, he's the slowest guy of the event, which somebody has to be.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So the times that well,
You may have been looking at segment times.
in my defense, I think I might have been looking maybe perhaps not considering second practice times.
Okay.
Because like first time out, I know for a fact, can't think of his name, he was on a Honda, 700 and something number.
On a 250 or 450?
I don't know. But he had like a 112.
Okay. And that was in the first qualifying?
It may have been in the
Okay.
first qualifying, yes.
So now, to put this into perspective, 450 Group C,
Okay.
Alexander Nagy,
Okay.
56.1 fastest lap time. That's in Group C.
Okay.
Ronnie Ford, 108.01.
Now, wait a second. Okay, we're talking about Group C.
Group C.
There's also a couple guys in Group C in both
Yeah.
that I'm like, why are these guys in Group C?
No, that's true. They have a system where they put guys that have made A main into Group B, and then you have guys that are fast as shit that are not riding Group B because they have not qualified for any night shows.
Okay, because there was
Or I'm sorry, not made any mains.
Yeah. Okay, so the 250 class, the Group C and 250.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who it was, and I don't know his lap times. Maybe like Ronnie Ford. Maybe I thought he was going better than he was.
Yeah.
But
Was it just that Ronnie sounded like he was hauling ass on the 250?
no, he didn't. No.
Lugging it.
Except on the start straight. Oh, on the start straight, like it was just
Crisp.
it was so crisp.
On a 3-year-old bike.
Was it 3 years old?
It's a 2014.
Is it really?
Yeah. So
What's the homologation?
that's the bike can be 3 years old.
So he's pushing it.
It's
So
the-
next year he needs a factory ride.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Group C, I'm gonna get back to this. Group C, 11 riders on the track at one time.
Okay.
Every other practice has 20.
Yes.
So there's half the amount of riders. So it's really not that big of a hazard whenever you have half of the amount of riders, no matter how slow you're going.
Right.
Because guys coast around the track the entire time.
Yes.
Guys that, burn a heater and then slow down and then get, their breath back
Yes.
and then go back out for a heater.
I watched guys in the A practice nearly wadding up other guys in the A practice because they were squatting around while the other guy's trying to put in a heater. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, it happens in all the practices. Now, the deal where he made the night show at Toronto and they didn't let him ride, correct?
That's because everybody made it in.
Right. But I guess what I'm saying is they didn't let him ride there.
Correct.
That might be a different scenario because he's now on the line with Savacci. He's now on the line with whoever.
But in the 450 class.
Okay, he's riding a 450, whatever. He's on the line with Dungey, makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, he's on the line with Dungey.
Yeah.
He's on the line with Reed.
Okay.
He probably wouldn't let Reed go by.
Probably not. No. Mm-mm.
But my point is, like, in that scenario, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. But where he's at right now in the practice sessions he is, like, I don't understand really. I don't know. I guess it's not as big a deal as I thought it was going to be.
You thought he was faster than he actually is.
He is faster than I thought he was. But listening to everyone,
He's faster than I thought that I think that he is when he
Right.
thought that he was
Right.
faster than
Right.
I thought.
listen to everybody. I expected this guy in like a denim vest with nothing else on, like an open face helmet.
Yeah.
Just rolling over, like
Power rolling.
power rolling the doubles, and he's got like leaning hard into the like right hander with his left foot out. That's what I expected.
Yeah.
But he's got it together more than that. Like if you went to a local race, I feel like whatever class you ride, plus 60 or something,
Yeah.
he's going to be like, oh, that guy's fast
Yeah.
at a local race. Does he belong in Supercross? Maybe not. But I'm just saying everybody gives him way harder time than I think is deserved because I don't know.
I'm a fan of it. The guy's old AF, owns his own business, and is out there just doing what anybody. It's amazing how many people troll on the guy that would love to be able to do what he's doing but cannot.
Yeah. We figured it out that we added it up. What's entry right now?
It's just, I think, $200.
Okay, see, I think we based it off of 300. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's spending like just $6,000 alone just to ride.
Yeah.
Like just in entries.
Yep.
That doesn't include travel. That doesn't include the subframe that he bent when he jumped off the side of the triple.
Bro, because it's plastic. They have plastic subframes.
We'll just heat that thing back up and just. How's that work?
Get the heat gun, baby. I want to fix my rear end.
Huh. But anyway,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Okay, enough about Ronnie Ford. I started a topic there that I felt really strong about because I thought he had better lap times, and now I'm regretting even bringing this topic up.
What's been happening in the world of RC? So okay, I'm a little confused because I saw that you posted on Facebook that you were ending doing something and continuing with something else.
Okay. You want the short version?
No, I want the long version.
Okay. So in the RC world, just like motocross, there's the Racer X's and the Trans Worlds and the Verb Motos and...
Vermotos, RIP.
Okay,
Bad example.
it's not. Andrew's a good guy.
Moving on.
Moving on. Anyway, so I worked for one that was out of England,
And it's called...
and it's called Neo Buggy.
Okay,
Well, okay, startup. We're going way back in time.
all the way.
Okay, so 2011, I started working for one called Live RC.
Okay.
They do live race broadcasts. They have the live scoring systems, all of that, along with like your daily news, your daily updates, that kind of thing. They're in America. They're the thing in America.
Live RC.
Live RC. So just after 3 years, whatever, decided, you know what, I'm going to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Then the opportunity came up to work for this company out of England, Neo Buggy.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, I mean, obviously their big thing is Europe, but they're also very popular here in America.
So were they wanting you to cover America? Were you the American contributor for Neo Buggy or?
Kind of, but it's not so segregated like motocross is.
Yeah.
Or supercross or whatever. So it was like I was doing their daily news updates, that kind of thing, which unlike like supercross, like there's not something new that comes out every day that gets posted.
Okay.
You know? But in the RC world, like 10 new things every day. Like they may not matter, but there's new stuff coming out all the time. So I worked for them, and I didn't do a very good job, apparently. So I got fired. So then I started my own thing. And I started my own site, and that is way harder than people realize. Got no advertisers whatsoever.
And what was the name of that?
It was InsideLineRC.com.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then basically the opportunity came back to circle back around, work for Live RC. So I put the kibosh on my site and went to work for Live RC. The kicker in there is I don't really know what Inside Line RC because I have a silent partner or had a silent partner.
With your own website.
Yes.
Okay.
That he owns the domain.
Yeah.
and he didn't want to get rid of the domain. He didn't want to sell it off. So I don't know if he plans to do anything with it or if it's just dead.
So as of right now, you are not associated with Inside Line RC.
No.
But you are back with Live RC.
Yes.
What do you do for Live?
Right now, I'm just kind of like, if we went into an office every morning, I would be the guy that makes everyone's coffee and maybe fluffs their mail on their desk. Okay,
but you're not there in their office.
So right now I'm doing daily news, posting daily news.
Yeah.
And I have an editorial called A Moment with Mike.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it?
Is it intimate?
Not usually, but I can make it intimate.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be. There's a lot of potential there. And on Thursday I do product reviews.
What is the hottest must-have item in RC racing right now?
Just one?
I don't care whether it's one or multiple items. What does every RC racer have to have?
Oh man. I don't know. That's where it's not like it's so different. Example, we've talked about this before, in terms of styles, mm-hmm. it's so much the same as Supercross and motocross. Cole Seeley, he kills it on an RC track. He's a big RC racer and he's really good. Eli Tomac is an 8-scale buggy track at his house.
Yeah.
He's really good at it. But it's so much the same, but it's so different. RC cars have flames on them. If you had flames on your dirt bike, you're
the biggest loser.
Right.
Okay, so in motocross, it seems like the standard. Okay, here's an example.
Okay.
Everybody is racing with the Dunlop.
Okay.
3 tire. I don't even remember what they call it, but it's the not the Pirelli Starcross, but it's
Geomax.
No, yes. Okay. The Geomax MX3 tire.
Okay.
That's the most used tire in Supercross and motocross racing.
Okay.
What is the most used tire in RC car racing for dirt specifically? Now, does it vary between nitro cars and electric cars?
Oh yeah. Okay, so it varies. It varies. There's literally, I'm not even kidding you. There's hundreds of combinations of tires, and you will change tires. You have 3 qualifying races typically in a main event. Like a Supercross race.
Yeah.
Each track, whether the temperature changes, you'll change compound tires. You'll change tread tires. You'll change, if you're not sponsored, you'll change brands.
Yeah.
So there is no one. There used to be back in the day, there used to be a company, it's still around. It's called Proline Racing. And it used to be, they had a tire called a Crime Fighter, which looked like a knobby derby from a dirt bike.
Yeah.
They had a bow tie, which literally looked like bow ties. And they had... I don't know what that is.
Hold on here. Live again.
Back to tires. Anyway, no specific tire. To answer your question.
Okay, but see, there's so many things that I don't know about RC car racing. Is it easier to compare it to motocross or Formula One?
Okay, so there's on-road RC racing, which is cars that look like street cars, and you run on asphalt or carpet. And then you have off-road. On-road is very much like Formula One. Car setups, very crucial, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Off-road, you have 10-scale racing, which is the smaller cars, electric cars.
Yeah.
I compare that to arena cross and supercross because the tracks are smooth, high traction, lots of jumps, and typically indoors.
For the 1/10 scale electric cars?
Yes.
Okay.
For the 1/8 scale electric or nitro cars, which is majority of the time outside or in very large buildings, it's more like motocross. It's gross. It's dusty, bumpy. You make pit stops. Not that you make pit stops in motocross, but you get what I'm saying.
I remember you telling me that the races for the nitro cars are pretty long.
Yes, an A-main, at the Worlds, is an hour long. And you have to pit every, some guys go 10 minutes, but on average, most people pit every 7.5 minutes.
How is there a regulation on the fuel tank size?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's a big controversy right now, actually, because at a big race, The top 2 out of the B main were supposed to bump to the A main.
Correct.
And I'm going to get something wrong in here, but the guy that got second and should have bumped to the A main, his fuel tank was 1 cc too big, or maybe 2. And he filled it with ice cold water when he went to tech inspection to try and shrink the tank, and they caught him. So he didn't make it.
So then did they take the third place guy?
Yeah, my understanding is yes. I didn't really follow up with the issue,
Yeah.
but yeah.
What a cheat until you get caught type deal.
Yes.
Is that pretty common in RC car racing?
No. Well, depends on what you're racing. Like, there are spec classes where everybody's supposed to have, like, the same size motor. And then there's, like, the mod classes where it doesn't really matter, what kind of motor, what size motor you have.
Yeah.
The spec classes, typically you will see more of the cheating because everybody's wanting that little extra edge.
Who are some of the and you race?
Yes.
What class do you race?
Okay, well, it's not like Supercross or motocross either. There's no, I guess there is kind of, but there's no like beginner, novice, intermediate, expert.
Okay.
It's divided up by what kind of car you're racing.
Okay.
So that's where RC cars are weird because if I go to, first of all, you don't have to qualify to go to the nationals. Like the national champion is decided in one weekend. Like it's one race. Mm-hmm. Whoever wins that race is the national champion for that year. So, but anybody can go to it and anybody can sign up.
So it's just strictly off of equipment, not off of skill.
Correct. So, and some races do have like sportsman and pro, but at like a national event, it's just 8-scale nitro buggy. That's it. So guys that are making $100,000 a year racing these things and travel all over the world, they're racing with a guy in theory, that just left his local hobby shop, bought a car, and has never driven an RC car before.
Wow.
Now, they're divided up because they do like timed practice and things like that. So they segregate somewhat.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is that's where Supercross and like RC racing is different because like Ronnie Ford's situation in RC racing, totally not unheard of. Like it happens all the time. You get newbies out there with world champions.
Who are, if you had to name, could you name the top 10 right now? The top 10 guys. Go ahead.
In order? Or just in general?
Just general.
Ryan Mayfield, Ty Tessman, Ryan Cavallari, Jared Tebow. Those are the ones that stand. Spencer Rivkin. Yeah, I mean, the weird part is like there's a list of, whereas like you go to a Supercross race, you're expecting Eli Tomac or Ryan Dungey to win the main.
Yeah.
Maybe throw in Jace Anderson, somebody like that.
Yeah.
When you go to an RC race, there's literally 10, 15 guys that any single one of those guys, if everything's going their way, could win. So there's not like one guy that's necessarily just crazy.
The heavy favorite?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I guess. Yeah.
Does it make, okay. And you're, whenever you go and race, are you doubling down of announcing and racing?
Not usually.
Not usually.
No. Usually I do one or the other. Every once in a while, like I'll try to do both. Mm-hmm. But either I'm just doing one or the other.
Okay.
Because I don't care what anybody says. Even if you know you're not even a top 30 guy, if you're at the race, like you're there to win. So there's nothing worse than like trying to juggle racing and announcing all at the same time.
Yeah. I've never really asked you this. Where do you stack up in the tiers of
I have a tier of my own.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, okay, so like how do you qualify typically and then,
I would consider myself on my really good days like maybe a like a Brian Stone, okay. or like a Teddy Mayer maybe. Like if a Mo State race, like I have the potential to be up there, like in a more local regional setting.
Yeah.
On a national setting, like I've never really like wowed anybody.
Have you qualified for like one of the feature mains or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did race the world championship in 2008.
Okay.
for the USA. But that sounds really cool, which it is. It was unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I finished 142nd
Out of
330, maybe.
okay. Well, I mean that's top third ish.
And yeah, I mean, America
Half,
only
top
had
half.
like 900 drivers there, but still, like,
Yeah.
I got to carry the flag too.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. I was like a shopping cart and they just pushed me out and they were like,
So, you know, I have so many questions about RC car racing that I'm kind of like, I'm lost as to
that would be like,
which
we
one.
don't
to
have
ask.
bars. So it would be like over the front shock tower would be the name of that podcast.
What is the actual control unit called that you
Like the AMA?
No. No, the thing that you hold in your hand to drive the car.
Well, that's an ongoing debate. Like some people call it a radio. I just call it radio.
Okay.
Some people call it a remote control.
Yeah.
Which when people say remote control, I think of like, hey,
television. Pass me the moat.
Yeah, exactly. Some people say a transmitter.
Okay.
Which, the word transmitter already takes what is already stereotypically a very nerdy hobby, occupation, whatever. And it's like, can you hand me the transmitter, please? It's just like, ugh. Yeah, so don't use that word. It's just a radio.
I'm kind of having a little technical malfunction
Yeah, you
here
got
with
a
my
little-
puff pad. So, all right, you mentioned Jared Tebow.
Yes. You've ridden with Jared Tebow.
I've ridden with Jared Tebow.
Yes, you sure
Whenever I met him the one time here, do you remember how you introduced him?
No.
You said, "This is Jared. He's like the Ryan Dungey of RC car racing."
Okay.
I mean, is that still?
Yeah, I mean, he's like all of the guys. He's kind of had some ups and downs, like in his results and like his whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say so.
And Jared's a factory.
Oh yeah, that's what he does for a living.
Right.
Like, and you see the guy's house, like you're like, wow, I'm doing something wrong, like terribly, terribly wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. His a nice house. Yeah, like nice cars,
Nice dirt bikes.
nice dirt bikes.
Do they so like at the Worlds or you know the Nationals or
Yeah.
or whatever, do they have purse money the same way that motocross does?
Yes, but much like motocross, it's not so much like the organizers aren't necessarily giving out the purse money.
Okay.
It's more of like your sponsor-based stuff. So I can't get any of the factory RC guys to give me the scoop on exactly like,
How much money they make?
yeah, or things like that. But rumor has it that several years back, one of the top guys was in second. No, I'm sorry. He was leading the world championship and dropped to second, or maybe second to third. Anyway, point of the matter is, I was told that was a $20,000 pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
By dropping down
Yes.
a notch.
Yes.
And is that off of like race bonuses from the team that he
I would assume
drives
so.
for?
Yeah. Well, the multiple, because
Okay.
and it's like this with bikes too, but like in RC, like you have a chassis sponsor, which would be like the manufacturer of the car, be like the
Okay.
Honda and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the tire sponsors
Yeah.
and the engine sponsors and all that, like they're just as important.
So it's in that aspect, it is more similar to F1, where you have a chassis and then a different engine developer.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Yes.
instead of then you have the Pirelli tire, the
Yes.
Dunlop tire, and then obviously there's little knick-knack parts and pieces
Yes.
like there is in motocross with our hard parts.
Yes.
Yeah, I like drawing the similarities,
Yes.
between the two, because it helps me navigate the sea of RC car racing that I don't really have a,
And at St. Louis this past weekend,
yeah.
my good buddy Dan Hubbard, who is the stadium announcer, we went and visited Dan up
Yeah.
in the box, and then he gave a shout out over the mic, and he gave me a shout out as a professional Traxxas racer. It's definitely not.
Does Traxxas, are they in professional
No.
RC car racing?
No.
They're like the
Traxxas is hands down the biggest name in RC and the most successful company, but they have absolutely nothing to do with RC racing.
Really?
You can race a Traxxas Slash, like they have a class for it, but it's a spec class. Like everybody runs a Traxxas Slash. But on a professional level, there's not a single Traxxas. They don't even make a vehicle for like true competition racing.
Traxxas is the segue to get into RC.
Yes.
as a hobby.
Correct. Traxxas is the perfect RC car if you want to race, but you also want to skate park it,
Yeah.
run down the neighbor's dog, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when I say cheap, I don't mean like quality. I'm saying they're cheaper than buying a carbon fiber kit, with the carbon fiber check.
Okay. Traxxas is the Honda 230 of RC car racing.
I would give them more credit than that. Because you could there's people that race.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
On a local level, you could take a Traxxas Slash and be competitive in what you would call the mod open short course class.
Okay.
The truck class.
Yeah.
Could you do it on a national level? No. But you take a Honda 230 and
you can't race it at a local race.
No.
Okay, I see where you're coming.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at a loss right now with the RC car racing. I've reached the end of my
That's fine.
knowledge. I mean, I want to continue talking about it because I find it fascinating.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I guess you could say
It's kind of what I do.
cool, I guess.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What are some of the perils of RC car racing right now?
The what?
Perils?
The perils.
Problems.
Thank you.
You need a dictionary to hang out with me, apparently.
Yeah. Where did you go to school?
I didn't.
See, that's what's crazy. Why is this? This is what's problem with the education system.
Is the fact that I was homeschooled and have a better education.
Exactly.
Well, Michael, I don't think that it has anything to do with the education that I did or did not receive. I think it's that I was raised to be inquisitive and to always ask why, which is the exact opposite of what is taught in the public school system.
Why would you use the word inquisitive? What does that mean? You see what I'm saying? It's like...
I see what you're saying, instead of ask questions.
Yeah. All you had to do was say, I like to ask questions.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Speaking of questions, I'm going to go to my list now.
You're ready to... Okay.
Can I go to my list?
I don't know.
I really want to talk about my list.
Hit it. Hit me with number one.
Cody Gilmore.
He's fine.
That's not even remotely what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Yes, he is fine. Gnarliest crash I've ever seen in my life.
Whenever he slapped down on the starting line?
Yes. And his bike, I don't care who you are, that was the gnarliest crash.
Did you see the press day press day crash that Alessi had?
No, I heard about it, though.
Dude, his bike did dung, 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 down the straightaway.
Wow.
It was bad. Did a lot of
Wait,
flips.
down the straight? I thought he crashed on the triple.
It was,
I was told...
No, it was in the rhythm section. But where
Which one?
I don't know.
Did you watch it?
I saw the video, yeah.
How do you not know which one?
Because it was from ground. It was shot from the ground.
Oh, I
so
see.
I don't
The track
know.
changes when you're on ground and up in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was on the track, but
Okay.
he crashed on a triple in the middle of a rhythm section,
Okay.
and then the bike continued to flip up and over the berm. More about Cody Gilmore. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to touch on that just very briefly and just say that
That it was the gnarliest crash you've ever seen.
that was the gnarliest crash I've ever seen. I take that back. That may not have been there. It was the gnarliest start crash I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't had very many of those this year.
No, there hasn't.
I watch a lot of the I watch a lot of the old late 90s to mid 2000s races. I don't know what they did or if it's just a difference in riders. There are less crashes on the start than there used to be.
Pin it to win it.
Pin it to win it, bro.
Yeah.
Top Gear max throttle.
Yeah.
Still gonna
Does that
send
have
it.
any? Still gonna send it. Does it have anything to do? Do any of them involve hay bales?
No, I don't know. You get those guys that run into the tough blocks and hay bales on the inside.
Because all I got to say is tough blocks. These guys are just rolling right over them like it's just a braking bump.
Well, it is. It's a pad.
Hay bales. It's I personally have done that.
Yeah.
At Dragoon, I clipped a peg on a hay bale.
So
First gear wide open.
what's your second item on your list?
Aaron Gully. I get him confused.
Are you sure it's Aaron and not Adam?
I'm not. I'm not sure.
Goalie.
It's Gully. That's all I know. Okay, so I didn't see his crash.
Me neither.
Okay, but he broke his femur.
Correct.
Did you see the X-rays?
I saw the X-ray.
Ow!
You know, all femur X-rays look terrible.
Well, I don't look at a lot of femur X-rays, so that one caught me off guard.
I've seen more than one, and they typically all look the same. You know, he'll be walking in a few days.
Really?
That's the crazy part about femurs. Although it is the largest bone in your body,
Here we go. Your education again.
it also is the easiest one to recover from as far as a clean break. Because there's so much muscle around the bone itself, the femur doesn't need a lot to heal. And I mean, obviously with the femur, they drive a rod through it. And the rod is so large in circumference that it actually stabilizes the bone in such a manner that you can start to walk soon. Because you're not talking about an area where muscle is moving, like a joint or like your arm where you have so many different tendons and ligaments. In your femur, you have the hamstring in the back, which is the easiest to injure. And then the rest is just meat around the femur. So whenever you injure that, as long as you didn't tear a shit ton of muscle where the bone broke, then you're really not dealing with that traumatic of an injury. It just always seems like you would think, because it is the largest bone in the body, that it would be the one that would be the gnarliest to break. In actual terms, it's the exact opposite. It's one of the easiest ones to come back from because there's such little movement around the leg and because you have so much muscle that stabilizes it.
Next time on Bodies by Jeffrey. There's that education again.
I mean,
That's way more information than I need to know.
Well,
all I was trying to say to you was that Aaron Goalie broke his leg and it looked bad. I felt bad for him. But even worse so, where I was going with the whole statement was his brother was out on the track with him, whichever goalie got hurt.
Yeah.
The other one.
Oh, so his brother saw his brother.
Okay, so yes, but then he rode over there, and I'm pretty sure they were like, hey, you got to get out of here. So then he lines back up on the line, and he just puts his goggles on, and like a true champ, he goes back out and lays down some laps and like makes the night show.
In practice.
Yeah. That's what. But in the same practice, like they red flagged it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, dude, my brother's laying over there like there's no way that he knew his brother's leg was broke.
Right.
Well, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, my brother's hurt.
Yeah.
They tell me I can't go over there. I'm assuming is what they said because he went over there and then rode back to the starting line. Like, I don't know if I was in that position.
He probably just rode over there to make sure that his brother was all right.
And then they were like, oh, broken femur. And it's like, oh, no biggie, bro.
Well, yeah.
But see, I never made it to that level, like in racing motocross.
Yeah.
So it was, real quick. I have to tell you this.
Okay.
So Dan, on his shout out.
Oh, yeah.
Over the PA system, okay, the entire stadium, he says, just want to give a shout out to Mike Garrison. Used to be a pro motocross racer. Dude, I was like, I don't know where that came from, but I'm running with it. My dad looks at me and my dad says, really, what team did you ride for? Nobody knows. Nobody has to know the truth. Well, now they do.
Now they
all
do.
Three
All
listeners,
three?
all three listeners now know the truth. But anyway, I thought that was the coolest thing. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was really like
savage.
Yeah, that was very savage of Aaron or Adam.
Yeah, whichever one it was.
Whichever one it was. I also felt bad for his dad because I think I could see his dad from the stands. And like, as a parent, I'm obviously not a parent, but as a parent, if your kid's laying out on the track, you want to go to your kid.
Yeah.
But in that scenario, like you can't. Like a local race, you're out there. You can be right there by your kid. But
I think that whenever you get to a certain point, your family just accepts the fact that whenever you're a racer, and I mean, you know this, crashing and getting hurt is inevitable. Yes. It's going to happen. And every time that you line up, you understand you might make it out perfectly fine and on to the next moto, or
you might OTB.
You might OTB and die.
Wow. Okay, you were really dark with that, but
it happens.
Not very often.
No,
but
it doesn't, but it does happen.
Yeah, well, jeez.
My point is, I think that whenever you've been doing it for so long on such a high level, there's really no reason, there's no cause for, any extreme emotions. especially whenever you're there at work,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you've got a job to do.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never thought about that.
I know that there's been a lot of times that, I've been, pitted with people and they'll
So
go
pitted?
out and what?
So pitted?
So pitted. And they'll go out and yard sale and hurt themselves pretty bad out on the track. And, they'll have to get ambulanced out. But it's a matter of, are they dying? No. Okay. That's fine.
You're so savage.
Well, I mean, I think it just...
Hardcore to the bone.
Yeah, I'm cold.
You are
I'm
just
a cold
icy.
person. Ice cold.
So you have ice cold. Can I go on to my next one?
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
Next subject.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, flagger helmets. Why do half of them get cool NASCAR helmets and the other ones get like the soup bowls that you wear like on a Harley?
Okay. So that's... I
How
have
did
the
I know
answer.
you? I knew you would have the answer to this.
So the guys, so there's actually, you have flaggers,
Okay.
which are the guys that are wearing the NASCAR
That have a flag.
the open face helmet deals, right?
Okay.
So the open face guys that are wearing like Chips helmets,
Yeah, that's what I'm
those
talking
are the actual flaggers.
Oh,
Okay. But the guys that have the mountain bike looking helmets,
Yeah.
those guys are the rescue crew. So those are the dudes that run out onto the track to throw tough blocks and they also carry flags sometimes.
Okay.
But they throw the tough blocks. They help people get unflipped from under their bike. They're like they're like the first responder to any situation that may be on the track. Now, they're not, medical staff, but they're there to run tough blocks, to unpile riders if need be, and to, you always see them standing out with they're essentially the keepers of the tough block.
Oh, okay.
And then the guys with I think they're either green or white shirts that say flag crew on it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are out there waving the flags.
But they don't touch tough blocks.
They don't touch tough blocks. They don't touch bikes. They are simply there
Just
to flag.
flagging.
Just flag.
But they don't get the cool helmets.
And they don't get the cool helmets. No.
Okay.
But the other guys, they have to have those lightweight, full face helmets because they're running around out on the track.
Okay. I would think body armor would probably be a better choice than a full face helmet, but that's fine.
I think there's one of the guys that does wear one of those ballistic jerseys underneath his sublimated jersey.
I don't blame him.
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
No. But then on the flip side, then you're going to have like Thomas the Tank Engine out there trying to hobble along across the track. He's going to be all suited up.
Yeah. Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I don't know. Thomas Tank Engine. I don't know where that even came from. Iron Man. Okay, so my last point on this little list that I made.
Yeah.
Adam Cianciarulo.
Have you ever noticed the spelling of his name and how much we butcher it? It is
Well, I spelled it here, Cianciarulo Lolo.
it is Cian Sorulo.
Okay.
It's the first four letters are repeated twice.
Oh.
Yeah, but we just say Sensarulo.
Yeah. How do you actually say it? Like everybody says it different. Do you know?
No.
No.
About Adam Sensarulo.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know where we were going with that. At St. Louis.
Yes.
The rhythm section, the Dragon's Back section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they touched on it enough. He struggled through that all day long.
Okay, the Dragonback was
After the finish.
right, but it was rollers up,
Yep.
flat,
Yep.
rollers up, single afterwards.
Let's see. Rollers up, flat, rollers up. Some guys were
Jumping.
doubling in the corner.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Go ahead.
I don't remember the rhythm that they had going. But Adam had no rhythm.
He wasn't into that section.
No, he ate it.
Hey, how about Jordan Smith?
How about him?
If
He wouldn't have won that race if Savachi wouldn't have gone off the track.
I don't know if I agree with that.
All right, just tell him.
Okay.
It's a fact.
Is it stamp it?
stamp it.
So,
But we'll never know, so it doesn't really matter.
right, no, we won't. I am so impressed with Jordan Smith because if you would have told me 3 years ago that he would be in title contention.
Is he in title contention?
He's like 2 or 3 points off of second place behind Savachi. Since Osborne had that, all those laps down, Savachi's in first, Jordan Smith is in second, a few points behind. And then Osborne is back like 10 or 12 points now. I'm telling you, Michael, this is...
I'm checking your stats.
Check away. You can fact check. But if somebody would have told me that Jordan Smith was going to be the one who would be in second place with 2 wins in a row, A, on a KTM, but B, from where he was a few years ago, it was like he was just a hazard to himself. I think somebody may have said this before, but I thought that he was going to be like Chase Bell or Zach Bell 2.0, go out on the track and just weeded himself up every time and get carted out because
that was the gnarliest crash I've ever seen.
He spent a lot of time on the ground. And a lot of time, he was also one of those super duper panic revvers, one of those guys that just rode the bike second gear, melting the CDI box.
He's racing desert now.
Bell is?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's doing it like full time, but he hooked up with somebody. Do you not follow these people on Instagram?
Are you sure you're not thinking of Robbie Bell?
No, I'm talking about Zach Bell. He got on a bike, on some Baja bike, and he wadded it up. I'm serious. But he ended up finishing. He ran like the Baja 250 or something on it.
No kidding.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the 250. Maybe it wasn't that important.
Yeah.
I don't know. You were wrong. He's 6 points behind.
What did I say, 4?
2.
No, I did not say 2.
4, maybe.
I said
It's really blurry of what you said, but okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he rode really good. He really did. But Savachi was pretty much on point, I thought.
Do you have a favorite in the East? Like, is there someone that you want to see win?
No.
It's just the best man.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's just because all the hype that's built up around Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
The West Coast, like, I was really into it.
Yeah.
The East Coast, I'm not as much into it.
It's kind of died down for you.
Yeah, it's kind of, the storm is calm.
Even though the East Coast is an entirely different, I don't know, Mike, but we're talking about both classes for the first time in a long time have single point deficits between first, second, and third.
That's true.
That hasn't happened in forever.
No. What's the points deficit on the West Coast? Hold on, let me look that up.
Well, McElrath has the lead with the most race wins, I believe.
No.
No?
No, McElrath is in third.
What?
Yes, you were way off on this one. Justin Hill, sorry, is...
That's right.
He's 21 points ahead of Plessinger.
I believe that didn't Hill win the last 2 or the first 2?
See, I told you I cared about it, and it striked my interest more than the East, but not enough that I remember that.
Okay. Does Plessinger have a race win?
I don't think this year. Maybe.
I don't think he's won one, period. No. Just outdoor.
He's so cool, though.
Nice guy.
See, I've never met him. I just going by just whatever.
His vibe.
He puts off a good vibe.
I wish he still had the long hair.
What?
Yeah.
He cut his hair?
A long time ago.
No, he did not.
Over a year.
That was part of the vibe.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. It's long gone.
No, not over a year ago. No, I just saw him.
Unless he's grown it out again.
Wow.
So anyway, rattle off the top 5 points on the 250 SX West.
250 SX West. Who calls it that? You.
Me.
Sorry.
I've been trained.
Yeah. Hill, Plessinger, McElrath, Davalos.
Can we pause very quickly?
Yes. Plessinger. I said it 2 different ways because I don't know.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I don't know who's listening.
It is Plessinger. And then Jason Wygant.
Yeah. Oh, I saw him in the press box, but I was too shy to say hi.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows who you are.
No.
Mike, how many plays does your first SX from the living room video have?
Like 700,000.
Yeah. Everybody has watched that.
You know who else was with him, though, that scared me away?
Who?
Steve Mathis.
Really?
Yeah. So I knew what was going to happen. I knew if I was like, hey, Weege, hi, I'm Mike Garrison, he'd be like, oh, hi. And then Mathis would be like, he would immediately break me down for all the things that I've done wrong.
Mathis kind of cool guyed me the one time that I talked to him.
Cool guide you.
Cool guide me.
What's that mean? I learned this phrase, throwing shade, so I want to use it. Was he throwing shade?
He wasn't throwing shade, because throwing shade is intentionally talking poorly about somebody.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't shading you.
No, cool guying is whenever you're extremely disinterested in whatever it is that someone that you're talking to is saying. So like imagine you and I are talking right now, then we go out in public somewhere and there are other people around, and I act like I don't know you and I don't,
You've done that.
No, I haven't.
Maybe.
I don't recall it.
I'm sure it's happened.
Mathis didn't necessarily cool guy me because I don't know him personally. But the one time that I introduced myself to him, I mean, that dude could not have been less interested in what it was that I was saying.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
And someone...
That's because I bet nowhere in your conversation did you mention Tim Ferry. If you would have said Tim Ferry, he would have been like, dude, what's your name? Come over for dinner.
Whatever.
Anyway, back to our points.
Yeah. Plessinger,
McElrath, your top three. Hills first. Davalos, Dakotas, Faulkner, Reardon, Chisholm, Martin, Nicoletti.
How did the guy that just started riding for JGR this weekend do? You know what I'm talking about? The kid that's like 17 years old that just got a ride with them?
Yes, I forgot to pay attention. I meant to actually pay attention to that, and I forgot.
Did he qualify even?
I don't know. Are you looking that up?
I will look that up.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I just want to throw out there that Faulkner.
Yes.
Do you remember when Merwin, one of our local tracks, if you're listening and you're not local.
From Kansas City, yeah.
Yeah. Had that big double after the finish line, and like maybe your mid-pack 80 riders were doing it on up to big bikes?
I don't remember there being a double after the finish line.
It was like a tabletop with a roller.
So not the most current format of that jump, which is like a double-double, but now the old...
I don't know. I've been there a long time.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
Anyways, but he was ripping it on a Cobra 50. He was doing it every lap. And his dad kept telling him to stop doing it. And then he crashed. But he hopped right back up. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Very exciting race. Not only did he lap the 50 class like 8 times, but sailed that thing.
I don't see any Suzukis except for Nick Peterson and Yuli Stocker. And I don't believe that was the kid's name. And then we also have John Short, I believe, on the 88. And he qualified 23rd. So either that kid did not race.
Maybe he didn't race.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Barsha did.
What was the Barsha controversy? I read it on
Well, first of all, did you see the picture where I didn't see this happen, but I don't know. See, here's what's bad. You get these people, they are so good at Photoshop anymore. Like, I don't even know what's Photoshopped and what's not.
Yeah.
But there's a picture of Barsha, and he's clipping like a flagger, and the flagger is just eating it so hard. And I don't actually know if he did that or if they, like, Photoshopped that. But that may or may not have happened in St. Louis.
I was incorrect. Cade Othenreith, that's how you say his name.
Okay.
West Coast. So he's going to finish out the West Coast.
Oh, so he didn't ride. You're right.
No, I don't know what to make of this because it seems... What is today?
Monday.
Okay. Is it this? Today's the 3rd?
No. It's the...
2nd.
No, it's 3rd, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they posted this 4 days ago, so it wasn't an April Fool's joke, obviously. So I'm not really sure.
Why would that be an April Fool's joke?
I don't...
This no-name kid that nobody's ever heard of is riding for our team.
Yeah.
Wow, good one.
Wow. Whoa. Wait. Yeah. So I just don't understand where they got this no-name kid that just got his pro license to
We
race.
keep calling him a no-name kid, but you know, like Ryan Dungey was like a no-name kid that just fluked into...
He has 800 followers on Instagram.
Who does?
Cade Othenreith.
Well, after this podcast, he's going to have 803. Guaranteed. I'll join too, so 804.
Yeah, you will.
You're going to have to write his name down, though.
So I don't... yeah, he's this West Coast guy, but I'm not... Cunningham is racing for him on the East Coast now. And, okay, so let me just run you through the JGR Instagram bio.
Okay.
Toyota, Autotrader.com, Suzuki, Monster Energy, 450F rider, Justin Barsha, Weston Pike, 250F rider, Filthy Phil, Matt Bisceglia. Okay, so Pike, Phil, and Bisceglia are all out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible year for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Barsha's been hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a revolving door of riders. I didn't realize. So they have Cunningham on a 250F Racing East, and then they have the Othenreith kid racing the West. See, Kyle Peters, he raced East for them at one race and got hurt at Atlanta.
Cunningham.
Yeah.
Who's the Cunningham I'm thinking of in the 450 class?
He's been right. He rode
number 11 on the Honda.
That's Chisholm.
Chisholm, Cunningham. Same thing.
C's. The C's are getting you.
Yeah.
That's brutal,
Sorry.
bud.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I'm. Can you imagine what it would be like to have to go through so many different riders in one season? I mean, they're constantly having to reformat a bike for someone new, and now they've got this Kate Othenreith kid.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously you delve into this way more than I did, as far as the bikes go. Okay, now I know, like with my RC car racing, like somewhat, like I'm like, oh, the car's not set up right. I can tell you this needs to be changed, that kind of thing. I never changed anything on my dirt bike. Like
You never set the suspension off?
Okay, yes, but I'm saying like from race to race, like these guys are ripping into pit lane and they're like 3 clicks softer, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
It's noticeable. See, whenever.
Was I just not going fast enough?
No, well, yeah. No, the thing is like whenever you're going to a supercross race and your bike is set up to do this and this, and the setup is not exactly dialed for the specific dirt conditions. That's mostly what they're tuning for, is the dirt. And then also every track has different obstacles. So whenever the tracks are tighter,
okay,
then typically what they will do is soften the suspension a couple clicks so it corners better. But the thing is, if you've got a track where the corners are tight and the whoops are big and the dirt is hard, but you've got ruts in the corners. See, every time that you add in a variable, then you have to adjust the suspension for each variable to get that general setting. The Venn, you know what a Venn diagram is? Mm-hmm. So imagine if on your Venn diagram, here
we go with the pen and paper,
in your top circle,
yep,
you have, let's say, rear wheel traction, okay? And then in your bottom left circle, you've got, you need flex for the
flexing.
Yeah, for the God damn it, for the bike to extend in
like the KTMs used to do, like flex in half.
Rude! How dare you even bring up that? That's fake news. Okay, so you've got bike flex, and these are just arbitrary things. So bike flex, and then you've got let's say front end push. Now, to get the bike to dial in for all three of these, in the center of each of them is going to take a fine tuning of clickers, ride height, pull rod, triple clamp, all of these different settings that they can adjust, front end fork height in the clamp. Now, on the track, obviously, they can only really adjust the high speed and low speed on the rear, plus compression and rebound.
And the wheelie bar.
And the wheelie bar, that's correct. You must keep the wheelie bar perfectly dialed. And then on the front end, you can really only adjust. I've never seen them adjust air pressure on, in pit road. But they all.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I can adjust the air on my forks pretty quickly.
I'm not a mechanic.
Right. And then the compression and rebound. So now here's the thing about suspension. Every time that you do one thing, let's say here on your bottom right, to adjust for this,
It's going to jack with everything else.
it's going to, all right, so if your perfect setting is here and you want better here, it's going to bring it up towards the top in your rear wheel traction. So if you start screwing around with the ride height and the front end, for example, it's going to take away from another part on the bike. So that's why they're constantly adjusting stuff, is to try to fine tune one thing. And then once so let's say if the front end is handling like crap, if it keeps pushing out, what they would probably do on the track is give it a little more compression. So they go 2 clicks in on compression to add, more damping. So then to counteract a higher front end, because you're working more at the top of the stroke, the stiffer that you get, the stiffer the bike works all the way through the stroke. So the more clicks in you go, the harder it is to get the bottom, action for the fork to go all the way through the stroke. So then whenever that happens, whenever the front end comes up, then the rear end is then downward from where you started. So then you have to adjust the rear end to work in unison with the front without losing what you did in the front. So it's not just what you have to do, multiple things at one time to get the dialed setting. And then a lot of times it's just as simple as air pressure in the tires or a different tread or different compound. There's so many different variable options for them to fine tune the bike to every single surface, course type, specific obstacles. It's really trial and error. And then there's a lot of guys that, Carmichael example, he would have his setting, and they would go to the track and they would fudge it very minimally, and then Ricky would just ride the bike accordingly to the track, just the same way that you or I would do. Because we're not fine-tuning the bike to do every single thing. There's a lot of people that are speculating that right now Dungey is back in that cycle of, constantly tinkering with the bike and not able to find the perfect setting. Roxon went through the same thing 2 years ago on the Suzuki. And whenever you're constantly fidgeting with something and you can't get the suspension or the bike to handle right, then it gets inside of your head that the bike isn't going to work how you want it to, and you're not able to ride it the way that you need to.
Are you done?
I could keep going for another 30 minutes about this.
I blacked out. You said Venn diagram, and you got your pen in your hand, and I just blacked out. That was it.
That's where I lost you.
Yes.
Have you turned into a pumpkin, Michael?
A pumpkin?
A pumpkin. Like at midnight.
Are you setting me up for a joke right now?
No, it's an honest question.
No, I've never turned into a pumpkin.
But are you about to? Because we've been going for an hour and a half.
Holy smokes. They got to be tired of listening to us.
Perhaps. Some people listen to podcasts that are 4 or 5 hours long.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I think that we should wrap it up.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Where can the people find you on social media, Michael Garrison?
At Mike Garrison 247.
Across the board.
Across the board. Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter guy.
Me neither.
No, I have one because the cool kids have it and throwing shade. I'm not sure if I used that correctly, but
no, you didn't.
No, okay.
When in Rome.
Right. Okay, so don't be throwing shade on Twitter because I'm not on Twitter, but I'm on Twitter. Instagram, at Mike Garrison 247. Facebook even, at Mike Garrison 247.
What are some of the upcoming things that you're going to be doing? Where are you going to go racing anytime soon? What do you have, in your schedule?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
You don't plan out a schedule?
My whole life is very similar to this OTB podcast. It is very wing it,
Yeah.
hang on, and you're probably going over the bars.
Me, on the other hand, I have a schedule that I make that I keep updated by this is, okay, so everywhere that I'm going to go. And obviously I check, I clear out.
Are you about to read the list?
I'm not going to read the entire list,
Okay.
but I'm about
so
to
I don't
read.
need to black out now.
No.
Okay.
This upcoming weekend, I haven't decided whether I'm going to go to Ponca or Winterset for the Loretta qualifier.
Why would you go to Ponca?
I hear a lot of people say that it's awesome again.
But wait a minute. Are both of them qualifiers?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're just choosing which district?
I'm just choosing whether I want to race South Central or
Yeah.
North Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the pluses or minuses?
Well,
Or does it
okay.
really matter?
I'll tell you this much. I am really good at starts at Winterset. Always have been. And I know going into Winterset that I'm going to get good starts every single time I line up.
Why?
I don't know. There's just something about that track, about the gate, about the first corner. I've got it dialed in. I'm obviously not going to give away my secrets. But that start I'm really good at.
Do you have a secret?
I do. And they're going, anytime that you have an advantage into the first corner, that's a big deal. Now, on the other hand, I'm also at a disadvantage riding a 252 stroke against most guys on 450s because I'm racing Pro Sport and plus 25, which is 450 class.
Without telling the secret, why does the secret not apply to other tracks?
Because I've only raced Ponca on a big bike one other time.
Okay.
In 2006, 11 years ago. So I don't, and the first corner is different even from the last time that I raced it.
Okay.
So I don't have a strategy going into Ponca.
So
into
this
the first corner.
secret takes place after the gate drops.
It's between the gate drop and the second corner. Yeah.
Okay. Like a seventh gear.
Like I said earlier, top fuel, or no,
You've never said anything about top fuel?
no, full throttle max power.
Full throttle max power.
That's the only way to ride.
Yeah.
Straightaway speed, Michael. Actually, okay, that's the secret. Straightaway speed. While everyone else is fucking around in the corners, I'm on the straightaways holding it wide open.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but is there as many straightaways as there is corners?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Not going to worry about it.
I win the straightaways.
You are the fastest straightaway racer.
Nobody else. Somebody has to be.
You know what? Before we close this out,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I bet Ronnie Ford could beat you on straightaway.
That's a bold statement.
I'm just saying. He had the straightaway dial.
I would like to line up with him.
I didn't say do a start. That's not what we're talking about.
No, I know, but I'm saying we
You have
line up, get going like second gear, and then from second, just pin it.
He's got factory Husky parts. He could do it.
God, you're right. You're right. He does. Who am I kidding? I'm OEM. Just a local joker.
Mm-hmm.
So the other option is Ponca.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't done a South Central qualifier in a very long time. And the thing is, I'm not trying to qualify
That's
for
what I was getting ready to
for
ask
the
you.
regional. No,
So
and I'm not going to Loretta's. That is another day that I will tell that story. But I am not a fan of Loretta's. It's a pit bike track.
Great singer.
Loretta Lynn's amazing.
Yes.
Coal miner's daughter. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So the areas are the most fun for me. I would love to go to Millville for the regional, but the issue is I can't get off of work on that Thursday and Friday because I'd have to leave Thursday to drive up.
Mm-hmm.
Friday's all day practice, and then Saturday and Sunday races. I can't get
Change
the
your
time.
route. Get a route in Millville. Just happen to throw your bike on the truck.
You know, whenever I had the New Smyrna Beach route in Florida, that I kept a bodyboard in the back of my truck, so every day after I would get done with my route, I'd go out and surf.
You just roll up to the beach in a FedEx truck?
Well, whenever your route is the beach, yeah.
I bet you just had the babes flocking to the back of that thing.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free packages.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very tiny ones. Lightweight.
Oh, wow. So, Ponca, yeah. I haven't decided yet. Greg Albertson tried to convince me to go to Ponca, and I'd like to because I've raced at Winterset so many times. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, it's an additional 45 hours drive time.
45 hours?
45 minutes, rather.
Yeah. Opposite direction, too.
South.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's going to be good weather in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean...
That's a topic we should talk about next time. Good weather racing.
I'm a fair weather rider.
Yes, fair weather riding.
So I haven't decided whether I'd go north or south, go race. And the thing is, if I go to Iowa, I know it's going to be great competition. If I go south to Oklahoma, I know it's going to be great competition. The classes are going to be stacked either way. The decision is, do I want to go race Ponca or Winterset? They're both tracks are distinctively different, but they're also similar because they're both on a flat racing surface. Winterset has some elevation change. Ponca has none. But I've heard a lot of hype around Ponca, and I'd like to go see, what the hype is about, because I can always go race.
Oh, yeah, making Ponca great again.
Ponca has been made great again.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah.
So it's a toss-up between the two. I can't quite decide on which one it is that I want to do.
There's a really cool RC track literally down the street from Ponca. It's in Ponca.
Yeah.
The opposite end of the street.
Yeah. Same street.
Same street.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what's on my schedule for this upcoming weekend. And then after Ponca, I believe that I'm going to take a week or two off, and then Challenge Tracks, USA, has a Missouri State race April 23rd.
Oh, okay.
And then the weekend after that, April 20th, 29th, is the I don't believe it's the first round of the Kansas State Championship Series, but
the what?
Kansas State Championship Series.
What's that?
Kansas.
I know what the state of Kansas is, but since when do they have a state series?
Well, it used to be CKMS, Central Kansas Motocross Series.
Was that anything like the Sunflower State Series that Dragoon used to have?
Well, that was only Sunflower, or only Dragoon.
Right.
No. They don't even go to Dragoon for the Kansas State Series.
Really?
The Basingers no, it's not Basingers anymore. Before, the Basingers wanted nothing to do.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
They don't own...
No, this dude, Brandon Herschel, is now the owner of it.
Oh, that's like the grandson, though.
Oh, they're related?
Yeah.
Oh, you did stickers for Brandon?
Yeah. Brandon is Juanita and Richard's grandson.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, now the mysteries of the universe are unfolding right in front of my eyes.
Yeah, so no, don't scare me like that. First of all, they live there.
What?
Richard and Juanita have a house there. I'm pretty sure.
On the property?
It's like right on the edge. You know that really rocky corner that sucked all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, their house is like right there. Like, deflect a rock and you're in their garage.
I had no idea.
Yeah, maybe not that close, but pretty close.
I'm with you. So, anyway, Bar to Bar in Wichita is having their first race of the Kansas State Championship Series. Or I can't remember the exact acronym of it, but that's April 28th, 29th. So it's Ponca or Winterset this weekend, then a week or two off, and then Challenge Tracks for Missouri State Series. And that's the first round of the Missouri State Series.
Ooh, the opener. The A1 of Missouri State Series.
That's right, baby. And then Bar to Bar. And then it's going to be quite a bit of time off before another month. Then I'm going to go to Nebraska for the first round of the Best of the Midwest Series, which has been gaining a lot of traction lately.
Tractor's good.
It's pretty cool how we've got this motocross series that's Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. And a lot of guys are actually following the whole series. I couldn't tell you the exact mileage radius of all of the tracks, but man, it's a star-studded list of tracks that, I mean, I could sit here and name all of them off, but I'm not going to.
Thank you.
For your own.
Yeah.
Yes. But they're all fantastic race facilities. It's amazing, like, whenever you actually step back and think about it, we have a lot of really good places to race dirt bikes within 300 miles.
Yeah. Really good dirt, too.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay, well, if you consider, like, if you're out in the desert, we have better dirt than...
You have a point there, sir. Yeah. So, you want to give a shout out to your ventures that you're doing?
Let's see. Oh, you know what? You know what I might do this weekend?
What?
We do have a weekend home. No RC races, no announcing gigs, nothing like that.
You're gonna do nothing.
I might do live from the living room.
Dude, you should.
Live from the living room. I missed a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I might do it this weekend.
Where's the races at?
RC, what, this weekend?
Yeah, Supercross.
Seattle.
That's right.
Yeah. Back to West Coast.
Yeah.
That's my coast.
Yeah, it is, buddy.
Yeah. Because I don't live in the Mideast. I live in the Midwest.
Copy that. And so that's
pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. You can follow me on Instagram. It's at Rippin' Ruts. And then my Facebook page is at Rippin' Ruts Custom. And then obviously my personal Facebook, which don't even go there because I'm
El Chapo.
El Chapo. I'm not maxed out on friend requests, but I've just gotten to the point to where I don't take anymore.
Really?
No, dude, Facebook, it's like, I'll go on these sprees where I'll just approve every person that I have, mutual friends with. But the issue is you get down this rabbit hole of adding a bunch of people that I don't know. People that I don't know them. And they're like backwoods dirt bike riders that I have a lot of mutual friends with.
Yeah.
They say a lot of really stupid shit that irritates me to no end. And then after a while, I have to go through and unfriend them.
But before you do, typically you always say something that gets everyone riled up.
Slightly trollish.
I would say more than slightly.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily a bad troll.
Yeah.
You're not a troll. I can't even look at you and call you a troll. You just speak your mind.
That I do.
Yeah.
That I do.
It just riles people up. Anyways, okay.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Mike Garrison, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Let's do it again.